In this video, I've got a recording of a Zoom call that I recently had with Steph Castelein. Now, Steph is a YouTuber and a blogger. You should definitely go check out her channel. It's quite a new channel. It's quite a small channel, but it's growing quickly and it's got some great content on there. I'll put a link up in a card now. And Steph creates content on YouTube all around blogging and Pinterest and writing content and loads of really useful topics, especially for people that have a website and are creating content and want to drive traffic and all that kind of stuff. During the call, we talk about lots of different things, including coming up with ideas for content. We also talk about monetization. And Steph also goes into some detail on how she uses Pinterest to drive traffic to her blogs. So I think that's enough introduction. Before we start, quick couple of things. You'll find links to everything that we talk about in the call in the description of this video, including a link to Steph's channel. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, why not do so right now? You can do so by clicking the button below and make sure you click the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. If you enjoy this video, please click the like button. It really does help me out. But anyway, I think we should get started. Roll the tape. So now I'm joined by Steph, who is a fellow YouTuber. She's got a channel, a small growing channel. You'll find a link to it in the description below this video. She's also a blogger. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, really, about blogging and writing and all that stuff. But before we get into that, Steph, why don't you tell everyone about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, Alex. My name is Steph Castelein. I'm from Michigan. And I started off about 2 years ago, and I had a hobby blog just talking about life and, different things, just kind of a place to put my thoughts down. And now I started a YouTube channel helping other bloggers start and grow their blog, as well as transitioning over a new blog, starting a brand new blog. So I'm diving into all that. Actually, today is like literally breaking ground for that today. So I feel like there's a bunch of different things that I do, and I'm still trying to navigate what that looks like. But the journey, I basically share the journey on YouTube of what I'm trying to grow. The new one that I'm setting up is helping new bloggers start and grow their blogs. So for me and my hobby blog, I found that there was so much information out there, and digesting it all and trying to figure out what's best and what's easiest to just get up and blogging and actually writing, because I had to learn all the technical side of things, but then also coming up with like blog post ideas was like a nightmare for me, and trying to figure out just different ways to do that. So I'm really going to be focusing on and right now that's what I focus on my YouTube channel, is helping people come up with blog post ideas and content ideas and different resources that they can use to, think of those things, as well as diving into some keyword research and SEO, because I've never did that for my hobby blog, but I'm starting to understand how important it is to drive traffic. So just learning that process, like I want to show what it looks like to learn and start that. And then I'm also diving deep into Pinterest. So when I first started my hobby blog, you see these influencers online, and I see like Instagram and Facebook, and I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. But the more research I've done and from my own experience, those are great for like connections and things, but driving traffic to my blog, which again I found is important. I'm diving deep into Pinterest, and I started that in September, I think, of 2019. And it just continues to grow and evolve as I've also niched down for my own blog. So it's just, again, just sharing more of my journey, but that's what the new blog is going to be about, all things like blogging tips and tricks.
That sounds really good. There's a couple of things that I think we should talk about a little bit more. So coming up with ideas for content, and that's a big subject, and it's something that I get asked about all the time. What would be the first thing you'd say to someone if they asked you, how do I come up with ideas for content for my website?
Yeah, so I feel like probably a broken record to other content creators, but what works for me is Google. I mean, I always, first thing I go to Google and just search and see what auto generates from there. I use Pinterest a lot since I am on Pinterest. Like, what are people searching for? And they have the new trends feature that I was actually just looking into this morning. So starting using the different tools that Pinterest has to come up with those specific blog post ideas, as well as answer the public. So that's one that I heard about when I first started blogging. A friend just wrote to me and said, hey, we use this for our business. It's a great tool. But now I've like getting more into keyword research and long tail keywords. I'm like, oh, I see how this totally relates and I can use it to drive more traffic. And then honestly, I try to create content that my followers are excited about. So I put out questions every single time on YouTube, like, tell me what you guys want to know. I'm learning this myself. How can I help you? And I do that on Instagram as well. I'm always like, tell me what you want to know because I probably need to learn it as well, or maybe I can help you get there. So yeah, those are kind of the 4 ways. And then I have like a little system, a content calendar, I guess, if you will, of just keeping all those sorted out. I've broken down my, my niche of helping new bloggers start and grow their blog into different like facets. So just creating content and keeping that content calendar full.
That sounds really good. I mean, yeah, reaching out to your audience, that's a great way, just asking people what they want. I'm sure they keep you fed with loads of ideas for content. So let's talk a little bit about Pinterest as well, because that's not something that I'm too familiar with. I mean, I've dabbled with it a little bit, but again, what would you say to someone who was looking to, use Pinterest? What is Pinterest at a very basic level, and how on earth do you post stuff to it? I mean, do you have to be a graphic designer? Do you need loads of photos? How does it work?
Yeah, no, you don't.
Yeah.
I didn't really know how it works either. And that's what's been fun about, again, I feel like my journey is I didn't know much. I don't have a design or website, or blogging background, even writing. I just like to tell stories in some different form. So I just kind of have learned it all and like to share that with my followers. So Pinterest, it's a search engine essentially. But what's nice is when people are visiting Pinterest, they're like looking for something, they want answers to it. Maybe not just like a blog post where they see, like they want to click on something and get answers. So I use Canva for all of my designs, just the free version of Canva to create my pin images. They have beautiful templates, and I have, a little color scheme that I stick with. And basically I have a template for 5 different pins that I do for all my YouTube videos. And then moving into the blog now, I'll do that for all of my blog posts. And then I just pin those to different boards and try and drive traffic to my right now YouTube channel, and starting today to my blog.
Okay. So yeah, I've used Canva. That's a really useful tool for lots of things, isn't it? So you have an article or a blog post, and then you create a pin around that, and then you try and find relevant boards and pin it. And do you use things like Tailwind as well? I've heard that that's quite a useful.
Yeah, so I use Tailwind. I could not do Pinterest without Tailwind. And Pinterest continues to make some changes to their algorithm and what works for them. They like fresh content, fresh pins, but you can still get away with, creating 3 or 4 pins per blog post, and then you pin those to different pin boards. So if it's something like, I actually just pinned one today that said, if you need help with a WordPress site, visit this blog. And it was like, so I did it to WordPress tips, I did it to website tips, I did it to blogging SEO, and I also did it to SEO tips board. So I pinned that pin to 4 different boards. So you know how it's kind of like reusing your content and I don't know, just again, growing in different ways, because obviously testing out ABs with different colors and fonts and, an image or just a quote, like all of that stuff without diving like way too deep. I just, again, I found 5 templates that I like and I've created. And basically every single time I create something new, I create 4 to 5 pins.
Okay. And obviously each one of these pins that you add to Pinterest has a link back to your site. And you say, so people are finding these pins and it is driving traffic, yeah?
Yeah, and it is. So yeah, I linked to it was my old hobby blog. So again, when I did my hobby blog, it was a little bit of anything and everything. So even Pinterest didn't know what to think about me. But now, because those pins, and with Tailwind, you can schedule them out, for 10 days. So those 4 boards that I pinned it to, I can do those 10 days at a time or 20 days at a time. So right now, I haven't written anything or added content to my new blog, or my old blog, for 4 months since February. But I'm getting like more traffic than I ever have because it's still alive on Pinterest.
Wow, still finding
it's still scheduled to those boards. So that's what's cool is like I create the content once, I create the 5 pins, put them to the 10 different boards each. That's 50 pins, and that'll go however like the interval I set. So yeah, so it's driving more traffic now, especially because the blogs I wrote last year pertained to summer. So now like this summer, they're gaining traffic again,
Oh, right. Yeah, that's really cool. So do you have to pay for Tailwind?
Yeah, Tailwind is, what is it? $10 a month if you pay, for a full year. So it's like $120 to use for a full year.
Okay, but it's good value. You say it's essential.
It's good value. Yeah, it's worth it for me. Again, you can once you pay, you can you can try it for free for 100 pins, and then once you pay, you can get into Tailwind Tribes, which again is just people focused on your niche, and then you pin to that, and then they see that, and then they repin it. There's so many different facets, but yeah, I recommend Tailwind.
Okay, cool. So you also touched on SEO, and you're learning all about SEO and how to get organic traffic. How's that going? What have you learned? What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm like diving in this week into what strategy I'm going to start doing. The research I've done, just trying to understand keywords, and I've just learned of like how essential long tail keywords are. Like
Yeah.
I know that sounds probably crazy for people who are like, you're a blogger, but again, my hobby blog, I was just trying to create content, and I was excited about what like where we were living and just more lifestyle. But now that I'm like diving into wanting to help people, create their own blogs of their passions, it's like, oh, long tail keywords, man. Like you can do so much with them. So that's going to be big. And then just looking at I've never created a WordPress blog before. So I'll probably be watching a ton of your videos and advice,
Okay.
but just diving into some of that, like those plugins and just so many different things.
Yeah, you can do so much with a WordPress thing. So just to clarify, a WordPress blog. Just to clarify, a long tail keyword is a keyword which has got maybe more than 4 words. It could be a question, something like that, rather than just going for starting a blog or something short like that, or blogging. That's a short tail keyword when it's only a few words. So going for those longer searches, of which there are an infinite number because people type all sorts of things into Google, don't they? So that's really good. And you're seeing some traffic from Google, are you?
Yeah, so on my my hobby blog, again, it's mostly coming from Pinterest. That's where it's driving because I don't have SEO and really anything set up on my Wix blog because I started on Wix with my hobby blog because it just got me up and running.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really a focus to drive organic traffic. Again, my idea for that was to just be an Instagram, be like a Michigan lifestyle person. But I found that like we might leave Michigan at some point. I don't not happy every single day, but I can help people, share what they're good at or their skills and their passions. So that's kind of evolved over time. So I'm not really driving traffic from Google. There is some there. But that'll be my focus now moving forward with the new blog and what I'm starting, not today, but this week, because today I'm breaking ground on a few other things. So first things first, I got to sign up for WordPress.
Yeah, no, yeah. Okay. Well, before you do that, you need to make sure that you watch my video, which is, should you go for WordPress.com or a WordPress.org site? Well, the quick answer is don't sign up at WordPress.com, whatever you do. Okay.
I got that.
Get yourself a
so that's like one
blog.
thing though that I had to learn. I didn't, again, didn't know the difference. So I think I watched your video on that because it's like, oh my gosh. And that's why, again, I want to help new bloggers start and grow their blog, not necessarily to make money, not necessarily to, create leave their, full-time job and this is their new thing. Obviously it's a part of it if they want it to be, but as a hobby blogger, even like there was so much confusion there and just things like that. So I just want to make it super simple for people to start. And if they love it like I did, then they can dive in deep. And there's obviously other resources and hopefully I can be a resource for them. But mostly it's just like get started, see what it's about. Like if you enjoy it. And then like when you're ready to go, boom, like full, foot on the gas.
So interestingly, you just kind of touched on it there about maybe people wanting to leave their job and that kind of stuff and maybe turning this kind of side hustle, I think some people call it, blogging or affiliate marketing or whatever, into a full-time job. Have you thought about monetization or have you indeed monetized anything that you've done so far?
Yeah, this is a great question. So right now, I'm making basically change. I do have affiliate links throughout my hobby blog. That is something that I did. My husband and I also sold a product. We created these like adventure hats, just like a baseball hat made locally. But people loved them. And I think it's because I was list building. So I had an email list and I had a great following and we travel a lot. So that's kind of what the hobby blog was about. And people like love the hats. So I got some experience selling a product. A physical product. I don't know that I will do that again. But now moving forward, just looking at, affiliate links. potentially ads, and then starting to sell some courses. So I would love to do obviously different levels of courses, of diving deep into creating content and content ideas and setting up your blog and just those simple things. And then maybe by the end of the year, having a more complex course or something like that. And then that's also a big part why I started YouTube, is obviously just monetizing is, once you reach those qualifications, it just continues, as passive after that. So there's a bunch of ideas behind it. The wheels are turning, but right now we rely on my husband's income. But yeah, definitely that's the point of all of this, is to build into having this be part of, and then eventually full-time income.
I like your approach, because a lot of the people that watch my channel, they just want to create something that's going to make money straight off the bat. They're not too interested actually in blogging or any of that stuff. They know that there's going to be some blogging involved in creating a website, but they just really want to make money. So the angle that you're coming from is refreshing, but obviously there's always that end game of trying to make a bit of money out of all this, isn't there? As well as, doing it because you're passionate about writing and blogging and whatever it is you're writing about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's awesome. I just love the journey. I love sharing it, and I love hearing people who are making money. It's inspiring. But yeah, I want to come from a place that I feel good about the work that I'm doing, and I'm excited about it when I wake up, it's been a long road to get here, but I feel like I'm onto something. So it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the most important thing. If you can get up in the morning and be excited about what you're doing, then as long as you've got enough money to pay the bills and all that stuff, then, life is good.
That helps. Definitely.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
The connection's been a little bit rocky, but in the edit, I'm sure it will come out fine. And do check out Steph's channel. There is a link in the description. The videos are very professional, by the way, far more professional than mine. I think your other half's involved in video production, or you weren't you, or something?
Yeah,
so
my husband has a production company, so I help. So we have light kits and everything, but let me tell you, I think we talked about this before, but being on camera is a whole different game. So it's looking and laughing and what did I just say? All of that has been learning curve.
I know
but
the
it's
feeling.
good.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, but I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
Anyway, thanks for joining me, and go check out Steph's channel. I'll see you around.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks, Alex.
So that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you found the call interesting. You should definitely go check out Steph's channel if you've not done so already. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I do read all the comments that I get, and I'll try to reply to as many as I possibly can. If you're not already subscribed, you can do so by clicking on my face up there. Why not check out my vlog channel? Click on my other face, which is up there. And here are a couple more videos. They've been chosen specially for you, so I hope you enjoy them. Until next time, bye for now.